Under the theme, Tackling the Inequality Pandemic, a new social contract for a new era, the word solidarity is likely to come up in Saturday's lecture.
This is a moment where we need more than ever unity and solidarity. And the United Nations must be in the center of pushing the world to come together. We live a dramatic challenge with COVID-19. And unfortunately, the world is not responding in a united way. We see different countries with different strategies. We see not enough solidarity between the global north and the global south.
The UN chief views inequality as pervasive. Inequalities between countries, demographics and races, in relation to minorities and indigenous peoples, between men and women, often exacerbated in the same home, rooted, he believes, in colonialism and patriarchy.
Many of the problems generated by colonialism, and of course we can remember the awful tragedy and the awful crime of the slave trade through the Atlantic. We can see legacies like the apartheid and many other aspects. But the problem is that we still inherited in today's world things that come from colonial relations. For instance, many of the countries that were colonized are still struggling with their economies to go up the supply chain because they still are condemned to live based on the exploitation of raw materials and low-tech goods. So there is a need to change international relations in order for these countries to be able to catch up.
Guterres wants political leaders to realize the fundamental nature of the decisions that need to be taken to achieve an inclusive and sustainable world.
One of the things that makes me be hopeful in relation to the future is see the social movements, people with loud voices asking for justice in relation to racism, asking for gender equality in the world, fighting against forms of violence against women, but also the kind of violence that we have seen in the recent racist motivated attacks around the world. So it is clear that these are concerns of us all, and we need to mobilize the whole world.
Following the example of Madiba, the Secretary General sees the current pandemic as a catalyst for the changes we seek.
The COVID must be the pretext to do it, because the COVID has shown how fragile we are. And if we want to correct our fragilities, we need to address all these problems.
Some would say that this is really a speech more for socialism, greater socialism in the world, and perhaps more against the free market principles that have tended to dominate it. Would that be a fair analysis?
I don't think so. This is about values, and values that I believe are today universal.
A speech expected to strongly push a change narrative in a world desperately hungry for tangible results. Siobhan Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.